ओम महादेवी च विद्महे विष्णुपत्नी च धीमहि तन्नो लक्ष्मी प्रचोदयात्.
வணக்கம். இந்த வருடம் மேஷ லக்னத்துக்கு எப்படி இருக்கும்னு நாங்கள் ஜென்ரலாக ராசி பலன் சொல்லக்கூடிய இது லக்னத்தை எடுத்து தான் சொல்லுவோம். இந்த 12 ராசிகளுக்கு எப்படி இருக்குன்றது ஒன் பை ஒன்னாக சொல்கிறோம். இதை பார்த்துக்கோங்க. ஜென்ரலாக நிறைய பேர் கோச்சாரத்தை வச்சு சொல்லுவாங்க. இந்த பர்டிகுலர் டெக்னிக் வருஷ பிரவேஷ் அப்படின்னு பேர். வருஷ பிரவேஷ்ன்றது ஒரு வருடம் எப்படி இருக்கும்னு பார்த்து அதுக்கான ஜாதகத்தை போட்டு அந்த ஜாதகத்தை சூரியனோட லாங்கிடியூடோட நம்ம பிறந்த லாங்கிடியூடு சூரியன் வரும்போது அதை கரெக்டாக மிக்ஸ் பண்ணி அதில் வர லக்னத்தை வச்சு போடுறது தான் வருஷ பிரவேஷ். இந்த வருஷ பிரவேஷ் அப்படின்றது யூஸ்வலாக முஸ்லீம்ஸ் போடுவாங்க. பட் அதை ஹிந்து சிஸ்டத்தில் அடாப்ட் பண்ணிட்டாங்க. சார், இந்த வருடம் மேஷ லக்னத்துக்கு எப்படி இருக்கும்? ஃபஸ்ட்டு நம்ம பிஸ்னஸ் மேனுக்கு பார்க்கலாம். இந்த வருடம் மேஷ லக்னத்துக்கு பிஸ்னஸ் பீப்புளுக்கு எல்லாருக்குமே நல்லா தான் இருக்கும். சக்ஸஸ்ஃபுல்லாக இருக்கும், க்ரோத் ஓரியன்டாக இருக்கும். புதிய கஸ்டமர், புதிய ஆர்டர், புதிய எக்ஸ்பேன்ஷன், அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு நல்ல சைக்கிளில் போகக்கூடியது தான் இந்த மேஷ லக்னமாக இருக்கும். இரண்டாவது விஷயம் இப்போ நீங்கள் ஒர்க்கிங் கிளாஸாக இருந்தீங்க, ஒர்க்கராக இருந்தீங்க அப்படின்னா உங்களுக்கு மேலிடத்துலேருந்து ப்ரமோஷன், நல்ல பேர், அதாவது கூட இருக்கிற கொலீக்ஸ் கிட்ட ரொம்ப நல்ல பேர், நீங்கள் ரொம்ப சக்ஸஸ்ஃபுல்லாக இருக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு தருணமாக இருக்கும். அதே மாதிரி நீங்கள் இப்போ ஏதோ ஒரு நினச்சதை பண்ண முடியும், சொன்னதை செய்ய முடியும். அதே மாதிரி உங்களால் எக்ஸிக்யூட் பண்ணக்கூடிய ஒரு விஷயமாகத்தான் இருக்கும். நிறைய பேருக்கு பல்லு சம்மந்தப்பட்ட பிரச்சனைகள் வரும். ஏன்னா அது ராகு 2ஆம் வீட்டில் இருப்பதனால் வரக்கூடிய வாய்ப்புகள் இருக்குது. ரெண்டாவது குரு ஒரு பாதி 11ஆம் வீட்டில் இருக்கும்போது இட் வில் பி வெரி குட். நிறையா பாசிட்டிவாக க்ரோத் ஓரியன்டாக சக்ஸஸ்ஃபுல்லாக இருக்கும். நிறைய இன்கம் வரும். இப்போ ஸ்டாக் மார்க்கெட்டில் போட்டிங்கன்னா பைசா வரும். இப்போ நீங்கள் இதுக்கு போட்டிங்கன்னா, இப்போ ஷேர் மார்க்கெட்டில் போட்டிங்கன்னா பைசா வரும். இல்லை இப்போ ஏதோ இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட் பண்ணுறீங்க, லேண்டு, பில்டிங்ஸு அப்படின்னு இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணுறீங்க, அதுலேயும் உங்களுக்கு சக்ஸஸ்ஃபுல்லாக வரக்கூடிய ஒரு விஷயமாகத்தான் இருக்கும். ஆனால் இந்த வருடம் மார்ஸ் ரொம்ப நேரம் விருச்சிகத்தில் இருக்கிறதுனால நீங்கள் கொஞ்சம் கேர்ஃபுல்லாக இருக்கணும். உங்களுக்கு மனக்குழப்பங்கள், மனச்சிதைவுகள், மனத்தில் உங்களுக்கு ஒரு பீஸ்ஃபுல்லாக இல்லாத இருக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு விஷயங்கள், அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ப்ராப்ளமேட்டிக்கான ஏரியாவே இந்த வருடம் இருக்கும். எஸ்பெஷலி முன் பாதி மார்ச் ஒரு 45 டேஸ் ஜனவரிலேருந்து போட்டுக்கோங்க. அது இந்த பக்கம் மாறுற மட்டும் இந்த பிரச்சனைகள் இருக்கும். அதே மாதிரி எல்லா மேஷ லக்னத்துக்கும் இதே மாதிரி ஒரு பலன் வராது. காரணம் என்னென்னா, உங்கள் பொசிஷன் ஆஃப் த பிளானட் வேறு, நீங்கள் வந்த ஏஜ் வேறு, அதுக்கான இப்போ இதே வேறு, கம்ப்ளீட்டாக வேறு. இப்போ நான் சொல்கிற விஷயங்கள் உங்களுக்கு ஏறுமாறாக இருந்ததுன்னா கண்டிப்பாக நீங்கள் ஹாரோஸ்கோப், ஆனுவல் ஹாரோஸ்கோப் ரீடிங் எடுத்துக்கலாம். அது பேர் வருஷ பிரவேஷ் அப்படின்னு பேர். அந்த வருஷ பிரவேஷில் எப்படி இருக்கும்னா, நீங்கள் உங்களுடைய ஹாரோஸ்கோப்பை இண்டிவிஜுவலாக அனலைஸ் பண்ணி அந்த அனாலிசிஸ் சம்மந்தப்பட்ட விஷயத்தில் வர தசாபுக்தி, பொசிஷன் ஆஃப் த பிளானெட்டு, அஷ்டவர்க்கம், டிவிஷனல் சார்ட்டு, அதை எல்லாத்தையும் எடுத்து செய்யக்கூடியது தான் இந்த வருஷ பிரவேஷ். அந்த வருஷ பிரவேஷில் உங்களுக்கு பரிகாரமும் சொல்லப்படும். என்ன மாதிரி பரிகாரம் பண்ணிங்கன்னா நல்லாயிருக்கும் அப்படின்றது. நிறையா பேர் ஃபேட்டுக்கும் கர்மாவுக்கும் கன்ஃபியூஸ் பண்ணிக்கிறாங்க. ஃபேட்டுன்றது வேறு. ஃபேட்டுன்றது எது நடக்குமோ அது நடக்கும், அது ஒன்றும் பண்ண முடியாது. கர்மான்றது அன்ஸ்கில்ஃபுல் ஆக்ஷன். இப்போ உதாரணத்துக்கு 2 குடையன் அஃப்ளிக்டடாக ஆயிருந்ததுன்னா நம்ம பார்த்து பேசினா பெட்டராக இருக்கும். அதுக்கான பரிகாரங்கள் பண்ணால் பெட்டராக இருக்கும். அதை விட்டுட்டு எது நடக்குமோ அதுதான் நடக்கும், அதை ப்ரெடிக்ஷனை எடுத்துக்காதீங்க. காரணம், அஸ்ட்ராலஜி வாஸ் நாட் அ ப்ரெடிக்டிவ் டூல். அஸ்ட்ராலஜி இஸ் அ கர்மாஸ்கோப். அஸ்ட்ராலஜி இஸ் அ டயக்னோஸ்டிக் டூல். ஸோ இப்போ நிறைய பேருக்கு கேரியர் நல்லா இல்லை, கேரியர் உங்களுக்கு ப்ராப்ளமாக இருந்தால் உங்களுடைய பொசிஷன் ஆஃப் த பிளானெட் வேறு மாதிரி இருக்கும். அது ஒருத்தருக்கு ஒரு மாதம் பிறக்கிறவங்களுக்கு வேறு மாதிரி இருக்கும். அது என்னன்னு தெரிஞ்சுக்கோங்க. இது நிறைய அஸ்ட்ராலஜருக்கு வந்து தெரியாது, அவங்க நிறையா படித்தவங்க இல்லை. அதனால் இதை நீங்கள் வேணால் ஆன்லைன்லேயே சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணிக்கலாம், வீடியோ காலிங்கோடு பார்த்துக்கலாம். அதே மாதிரி உங்களுக்கு வந்து 24 ஹவர்ஸில் ரிப்ளை பண்ணணும். உங்களுக்கு வேறு ஏதாவது டவுட் இருந்தால் கண்டிப்பாக நீங்கள் திருப்பி ஃபோன் பண்ணி கேட்டுக்கலாம். அதனால் திஸ் இஸ் அ வெரி குட் ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி டு டோ நோ யுவர் வருஷ பிரவேஷ். அது மாதிரி தொடர்ந்து இந்த சேனலை பாருங்கள். உங்களுக்கு நிறையா நல்ல விஷயங்கள், இந்த அஸ்ட்ராலஜி சம்மந்தப்பட்ட விஷயங்களை கற்றுக்கொள்ளலாம். தேங்க்யூ. வணக்கம். நான் இன்றைக்கி பேச போகிற தலைப்பு வந்து ஸ்பிரிச்சுவல் டெக்னிக்ஸ். நிறைய பேருக்கு வந்து நிறைய ஸ்பிரிச்சுவல் டெக்னிக் வந்து ஃபாலோ பண்ணணும்னு ஆசை. ஆனால் அவங்களுக்கு வந்து அதோட இம்பேக்ட் அது நிஜமாலே அந்த விஷயங்கள் நடக்குமா அப்படின்றது வந்து நிறைய பேருக்கு தெரியாது. அதனால தான் நான் இந்த டெக்னிக்கை வந்து பேசலான்னு இருக்கேன். நான் வந்து ஒரு கிட்டத்தட்ட 108 ஸ்பிரிச்சுவல் டெக்னிக் பேச போகிறேன். இது எல்லாருக்குமே யூஸ்ஃபுல்லாக இருக்கும். லாங் டேர்மில் இட் வில் பி வெரி வெரி யூஸ்ஃபுல் டு யூ as a person. See, basically, a lot of people want to follow the technique of Ramana Maharishi. Someone went and asked Ramana Maharishi who I am. They wanted to tell his technique, how he reached the enlightenment. So he simply told everybody, Nan yaru kelu. He asked everybody, ask who I am. Now that has become like the watchword, and many people try to do the technique on the sadhana. I have also tried doing the technique, but I found a lot of problem with that technique. First of all, when the master is living and when the master initiates you in a technique, it is of a different level and caliber across. Somebody went to one of the very great Rinpoches and says, are you enlightened? Can you help me in enlightenment? He says, look at the sky and become one with it. And that man did it, and immediately he got enlightened. So the problem is, what works in the presence of a teacher is very very different from what works away from the teacher. The teacher, Ramana Bhagavan, is dead and gone. So whatever, in what context he said, what he said to other people, now many people don't understand. I have seen this thing again and again in Ramana Ashram. There is no discipline, there is no everyday meditation, there is no doing that. At the most, many of them try to do the vipassana of watching the breath across. But you please understand, for Advaita sadhana, you need a tremendous understanding. There are 4 understanding you need to have. You have to understand Brahma Satya Jagan Mithya, which means the world is an illusion, only Brahma is real. The second understanding will come if you treat life as full of old age, sickness, death and pain. Meeting and parting leads to permanent suffering. So unless you come to the as attitude like Gautam the Buddha, that all life leads to suffering and desire is the root cause of suffering, you cannot do Advaita sadhana. And the third thing is, you need to have a strong mind. Some people are very emotional, some people are very power centric, some people are body centric, some people understand God better through sex and alcohol. So each of the people have a variation in their sadhana. Now you can decide the sadhana based on your swabhavam and your prakriti. Now many people try to fit themselves, if a tantric try to fit himself with who I am sadhana, it will not work for him as a person. So the second problem with this sadhana is that whether it suits your swabhava, whether you can transcend the human limitation using that. And the third thing is the encountering of the death. The black vortex will open up and the people will pass through the dark night of the soul. In fact, Bhagavan Ramana talks about his encounter with the death as if it was such an easy thing. Now what he was doing is the technique called dying. Franz of Assisi says, in dying that you are born to a greater self. Literally he went through the death vortex like the Shavsadhan and came back alive after that as a person. Now also you need to look at the mind objectively and dissolve the vasana, samskara and the what you call swabhava. Now this is very very difficult for people to witness and watch their mind. Now the witnessing is what Bhagavan Ramana had told. So many people, like in Tibetan Buddhism, call the beginner, middle and the end. So if you are a beginner, this technique will not help you. If you are in the middle, also it will not work for you. You need to have a lot of understanding to apply the technique. I have seen many people getting lost in the Ramana Ashram. Many foreigners, they take to drinking because they try to mix Tantra and Advaita, which is opposite in nature. So basically, this technique requires a tremendous understanding of maturity of mind. That's why they say Advaita na samshaya. That is also very important. Now I have seen a lot of these guys like Papa Ji, like Nizaragedda Maharaj, all that thing, they are never able to effectively translate that reality what they are experiencing. I have my own doubts about Papa Ji spiritual experience. For example, he goes and tells Ramana, I was playing with Hanuman and Rama, and Ramana Bhagavan asked him, can you bring them here? He says, no, he cannot. Then afterwards he switched to Advaita. I really doubt all these people understand and talking all the time about self and self and self. If you are going to do the sadhana and self, there is no need to talk. You cannot translate such an experience to them. You have to allow nature, God, mind to teach them about that. But the precepts is based on the simple truth, Ram Nam Satya Hai, which means you need to come to the realization. The other most important thing is all these people don't look at the life as 5 elements, life as duality. When you have not come to that level of maturing your mind, how can you look at life as oneness itself? So it's not possible. Therefore, I request you, unless and until your Guru is enlightened, unless and until your Guru is very, very clear about the technique, do not follow him. There are a lot of messed up characters like Jagi Vasudev who claims himself to be enlightened, who reads Nirvana Shatakam, but end up building big statues and big temple. How is it possible? Now the sage Agastya says, Natta Kallum Pesumo, Nadan Ullirika Sutta Satti Sattuvam, Karichuvai Marimo. The great Agastya says, how can a stone speak about God? Or how can when your God is inside you? Just like the soup ladle does not experience the soup, you also do not experience the soup by the mere worship. But you have to understand, just like the Madhvacharya told, from Rupa you have to move to Arupa. It's a long journey, including the great Shankara who practiced Advaita, wrote Saundarya Lahari, and who promoted the Ashtotra Puja in the ashram. So I request you to follow the tradition. Unless and until you do this, all these people, the so-called modern gurus, are all want to say that they are enlightened, that they went there, it was like a cup of tea, they get enlightened. I don't think so. It is the truth, because most of them want to make money, make a big name, want to jump into the car, and they don't have any niyama and yama. So please be very, very careful about this. Many of them start with the Advaita and they end up in the possibly the bizarre manner like starting Ayurveda. See the life of Ramana Bhagavan. He never started anything because his understanding was supreme and complete. He never tried to do anything. So this who I am technique requires a lot of maturity, and it requires a direct intervention of a living master, a master who is alive or the master who is enlightened. You cannot understand this technique by reading a book. I asked Swami Shantananda, he says, you chant it like a mantra, you understand? No, it was never possible. You need the mind to be mature to accept this technique. It is like doing bungee jumping, or it is like playing in test match level. Now, it is not for ordinary sadhak or medium sadhak. This is for extraordinary sadhak. Of course, many people get impressed with the sadhana or the silence and peace what they experience in Ramana Ashram, which I don't deny. And Ramana Ashram does not have a structure. It is correct, because according to the Guru, so is the ashram, and they do not have any structure other than the evening prayer Ulladum Narpadu, and also the afternoon chanting of Rudram Chamakam and the Padasala about it. So please understand that what Bhagavan Ramana tried to do was a genius. It happens once in 1,000 years such a soul is born. He got enlightened, he removed his dress, he became Digambar, he gave up his need for clothes, need for money, need for making a livelihood. He did not have a career, he did not get married, he just went and sat and sat. His prarabdha must be so much, he must have sat so much in his past life, to achieve such a kind of enlightenment. So please don't compare your guru. Very, very many of them are very, very limited in their approach, especially the modern ones who claim to be enlightened, who is like what to say, incarnation of Kabir, incarnation of Valalar, incarnation of anything. I don't think so. They understand the sadhana of Ramana Bhagavan. Also, he was not a great coach. He was a great performer. A good performer need not be a good coach. Normally, people like Sachin Tendulkar, people who play a very good cricket normally don't coach. So, if you need a very good coach, then Bhagavan Ramana is not the ideal one. His character is impeccable, his performance is impeccable. Now, many of the so-called people in the Ramana Ashram Benicity talk about the inner guru, which I will be talking to you at a later point of time. The awakening of the inner guru and all that thing, it takes a lot of time and awareness. Therefore, please be careful of this technique who I am. And generally reading Nirvana Shatakam of Adi Shankara is only a misguidance, because many people say there is no morality, you can do whatever you want. No, the law of karma will operate. Unless and until you are very, very clear, you cannot indulge in various things. And many people who have very disturbed family life end up in the ashram. They hate their father, they hate their mother, they want to run about it. Now, Advaita Sadhana is based on compassion. Just like Gautam the Buddha said, I want to get enlightened because I want to remove the misery of the world. Now, if you are going to do this sadhana for selfishness, I have seen many people getting confused. In fact, I had an experience with a particular sadhu who was doing this technique. He showed me the horoscope. I told him he will be getting married. He was so skeptical. In fact, the entire Ramanasram felt he was the next Ramana. The way he was meditating, the food used to go from Ramanasram, and he never used to allow people. And suddenly one day he fell in love, because his mind could get influenced by so many people. Women go on projecting, I want to sleep with him, I want to sleep with him. His niyama broke, and his sexual urges and hormone got better of him. Venus Dasa started, his life changed. So please understand this. Who I am is the most dangerous technique in the world. It looks too simple and it looks too easy, and it is not possible for many people to follow it. I wish you all the best. I'll be talking about a series of technique and my experiences on that, and how it will be very, very helpful to you. Please share this video, because many of the people are confused. I don't have time to take personal students and private students to train them and coach them. My life itself is, I don't have enough time for my sadhana, so please do excuse me on that. Thank you so much. Is going to be the impact for the Rishabha Lagna. The Rishabha Lagna has two main planets. The Saturn is in the 9th house, Guru is in the 10th house, which means a lot of changes in the work will be there, which will be positive, which will be growth oriented. If you want to change the job, you want to apply for the new job, you want to take a jump, then this year is going to be better. And now, if you have a father, and if the father is alive, and from the father's side, there is going to be a lot of positive thing which is going to happen for you as a person. In your father's side, cousins can get married, they can buy a new house, they can have babies, lot of good things will be there, and your relationship with your father will also be kind of quite positive. The relationship with the mother can have some minor issues, but overall it need not be very difficult to cross. But many people will have marriage and marriage based issues can be there, because the Rahu Ketu is transiting the 1-7 place, which means people will have a lot of difference of opinion can be there. They can be having what you call it as misunderstanding, miscommunication, and people who are already having an aggravated marriage can get into all kinds of problem across. So I suggest you wait and take a call. Don't be in a hurry. So because this is going to be a real tough time across. The other one is the Venus become Nicha. So what you plan might not happen. You will have to take to the plan what comes to you across as a person. The second most important thing is do not get into arguments with people as you can lose. Avoid court cases as the sixth lord becomes powerful for you as a person. The other point is generally your health is going to be better. I don't see a major hospitalization, major problems for happening for the Rishabha Lagna. Remember, I am talking about the ascendant part of it. I am not talking about the Rasi part of it across as a person. So the result might vary for few people across. The vehicles will be okay, children will be fine. Generally, this is going to be an average, above average year without much of a problem as far as your life is concerned. So it is very important that you use this time for taking risk, for being positive and growth oriented across as a person. Now, if you want to take a Tajika reading personalized with yourself, that is your horoscope will have the position of the planet which is very very different, and we can do a reading for you. You will get a video call, you will get a video recording. You can call back if you have anything on any doubts you have. You can ask yourself, how is this year going to be on the work, marriage, children and all the front across. And also we have priced it very reasonably. You can use Google Pay, Phone Pay, you can use Paytm to pay us, and we will respond to you in 24 minutes. You can talk to me live and I can do the reading. Remember, getting guidance from an educated astrologer is very very important for you as a person than trying to then just showing the horoscope to anyone. You need an expert advice. It is like going to Ravi Shastri. It's like a coach. You need an expert advice. But generally, you can say the Rishabha Lagna is going to be quite positive, and I don't think so is much of a problem for the Rishabha Lagna, except in the area of the mind. Your mind can be very confused because the Rahu is there in the Lagna, and you need not be very clear. You can have a lot of fear, doubt, confusion, minor paranoidism can be there across as a person, after which things will subside down. But generally, keep your health fitter, because the Rishabha Lagna tend to put on weight and they tend to eat a lot, whereas you need to have a lot of physical movement to help you to become better as a person. Therefore, this year is going to be positive. You want to know more how positive, you want to know how best you can utilize it. We'll tell you the remedy across. Do subscribe to the channel and also call us for an astrology reading. Thank you. Namaste. Today I am going to speak basically about the fake yogis in terms of Tamil Nadu, who have claimed themselves to be enlightened but who do not know even the advanced yoga of whatever has been taught across. There are 5 people whom I considered the legendary yoga people. The first one was the Krishnamachari Yoga Mandiram. The man was amazing. He lived 100 years. He was the pioneer in finding out the yoga postures. It was earlier there in the scriptures. He codified it. He translated it. He made a photographic of all the yoga postures. He taught it to a lot of people, including the Maharaja of Mysore. He lived in Mysore. Now, he was a well-versed person in the 6 philosophies of India: Nayana, Sankhya, Tantra, Yoga, and in fact, his guru wanted him to become a Jiyar. Unfortunately, he refused to become a Jiyar, though he was a very well-educated man. He could speak Sanskrit so well across. Now, Mr. Jaggi Vasudev and Nityananda, if you see, they cannot do any of the advanced postures. For example, I will challenge Jaggi Vasudev to do the Vishwamitra Asana. I challenge Jaggi Vasudev and Nityananda, whatever teaching yoga they are doing, I challenge them to do the Purna Dhanurasana. Now, it is not possible for them. They can't even do a Sirasasana. Such is the low quality way of doing things, and these people claim themselves to be enlightened, God, and they promote as if they are promoting yoga. The root of this entire thing started with Krishnamachari Yoga Mandiram. Now, I have nothing against Nityananda or this man talking about Jaggi Vasudev talking about yoga. But don't try to fool people as if you are enlightened. You can't even do basic asanas. I'm talking about the advanced asana. Can you do Mayurasana? I challenge you openly. You cannot. So, stop trying to fib with everybody as if you are knowing and you have all the answers. Stop trying to be Osho number 2. The second man who was pivotal in promoting the yoga, he is also from Mysore. The man is B.K.S. Iyengar. He used a lot of props. He made simplified yoga which was useful to a lot of people. In fact, he became so legendary. All these people lived for more than 90-95 years. Even at the age of 80, 90, they were able to do their yogasana.
Bhuja Pidasana. Bhuja means shoulder, Pida means pressurizing and balancing. In Hatha Yoga Pradipika they say, Kuryat tad asanam sthairyam arogyam anga laghavam. Vishwamitrasana.
Now, Jaggi Vasudev cannot do any asana, so he is promoting Veerabhadrasana. Veerabhadrasana is a very, very simple asana. Any idiot can do. Now, Jaggi, please stop fooling people. It is the same thing what you do with environment, planting trees, making the rivers. You also do not know about yoga. You are half-baked. You have ran away and come from there. That is the main reason. Now you take the video. We are putting the video. You see the video of B.K.S. Iyengar. You see the video of Krishnamachari Yoga Mandiram. They are amazing, man. Even at the age of 90, they are able to do the yogasana. They never claim to be enlightened. The third man who was very, very pivotal in that thing is doing is Patabi Josh. The man talked about Viniyoga. He connected the yoga with the breath. He said, as you do the yoga postures, you would be able to do that.
Utthita hasta padangushtasana. Ekam. Inhale, straight. Straight. Straight knee. Dve. 1, 2, 3. Inhale, head up. Chatvari, exhale. Right knees. 1, 2, 3. Pancha, inhale. Inhale. Shat, exhale. Sapta, head up, inhale. Ashto, take it to your hands. Tight, tight. Take both hands here. Tight it. No. Here. Tight it. Don't leave it. Exhale, inhale. Yes? Slowly. 3 times. Deep breathing. After slowly come. Ardha Baddha Padmottanasana. Ekam. Inhale. Take back your hands. Right. Dve. Exhale. Clear the feet. Head up. Again inhale. Trini. Exhale now. Breathe. 1, 2, 3. 3. Chatvari. Inhale. Exhale. Pancha. Inhale. Come up. Slowly. Shut. Leave it.
Are you teaching that? Are you telling people you have stolen from all these people? Jaggi Vasudeva and Nityananda, they are talking about rope yoga. Please don't believe that. They simply wear a garva or maybe have a long beard. They start having a different kind of hair duos and they cannot do. Can you do Sirasasana, Nityananda? I am challenging you openly. Can you do that? Can you do this Vishwamitra Asana? No, you cannot. All these so-called yoga teachers who promote make money cannot do advanced asana. But if you cannot do that, why do you claim to be a yogis? It is all bloody lies. They all take the camera from the long angle because if they show in the close angle, they know their students cannot do. The students will be struggling with the postures. Simply keep a big statue, use the video setting to promote it. That is what Jaggi Vasudeva is doing. The fourth most important man who contributed in this is Collins. What is his name? Bob Collins, the genius of stretching. He said, if you do the stretching with the resistance, you would be able to open up the organs. He has trained Olympic athletes. People have won the medals. He has come in the Winfrey Oprah show.
Hi everybody, welcome to a resistance flexibility class. We're going to do 16 kinds of stretches today, 8 for your lower body, 8 for your upper body. We're going to work on muscle groups on the outside of your legs. Let's try this, everybody. So these muscle groups on the outside of the legs, you're now in a position that elongates them, so we need to stretch them. We need to contract them to get a stretch. So if you keep pushing down with both of your legs into the ground, you'll contract those muscles that have been stretched in this pose. These muscles are for the gallbladder in Chinese medicine and in genetic personality type theories associated with making better decisions and being more devotional. That's great. Let's try it on the other side. Hard into the ground with your hands. Push the ground away from you. As you step up the wall, and as you go up onto the wall, kick against the wall to contract the muscles on the front of your body that you're stretching. Leave your head up and arched. And as you do that, your arms will externally rotate. They'll rotate this way. Your elbows will come towards each other and come on back down. Your front leg. Right. So you'll be lunged into your front leg. And while you're lunged here, I need you to kick your back knee up towards your chest. Kick your leg against the wall. And as you do that, push your body back with your front leg. That will stretch out the muscle on the front side of your thigh. Let's try that again. Slow up, Bonnie. Push against the wall, keep pushing, keep kicking your knee up towards your chest, and you'll get a stretch right here and it will start to come right up the front of your body. Let's try one more on that side. These are associated with the stomach meridian in Chinese medicine and in genetic personality type theories associated with sobriety and self-expression. Let's try the other side.
Sure. Such is the level of man. Some of the world's biggest athletes got trained with that guy. He is able to connect the postures with the meridians because he has worked hard. He has worked hard in that field for 20, 25 years. He doesn't claim to be enlightened to promote yoga. You are just promoting yoga. You are a yoga teacher, Jaggi Vasudev, Nityananda. You have forgotten that. And you can't do yoga postures possibly. That's why you get bored and you try to drive the bike and you try to play all your dream fantasy in younger days. What you have not been able to do because you do not have money, you are fantasizing by coming in the bike and all that. That is your personal issue. It's okay. There is nothing wrong. So I request people to go through this and I will show you the last clipping of Yogaraj. Amazing backbending stretches. I have never seen that thing in my life of a man able to do such amazing stretches. Backbending stretches. Genius. No wonder his name is Yogaraj. I can openly say I am a fan of his for his ability to do such complex yoga postures. Nothing uncalibered, unnecessary way of projecting itself for just doing yoga and making money and looting people of 6 lakhs. I have no problem in these guys charging. It's okay, you charge accordingly. Your customers you are able to charge. There is Bihar school of yoga. Satyananda Saraswati, towards his last period of life, for 4 years he did Panchagni Vidya. He never had any controversies in his life. He was a man who put the textbook on yoga. And in Alier Dam they teach you. Yoga classes they teach you. So therefore, all these claim that you are enlightened, you are this and that, is all fake. You see the Yogaraj video, you will know what that guy caliber is all about. You see the Ben Collins, genius of stretching. They had record. They are very successful. These people teach simple yoga and claim that they are enlightened. They are like yogi. Nonsense. You cannot talk about any scriptures, Jaggi Vasev. Can you talk about Ashtavakra Gita? Can you talk about Vashishta Samhita where he talks about the Advaita principle to the Lord Ram? No, you are not studied, you are not educated. The problem is spiritually uneducated people in India can claim to be enlightened, put pyramids, build some statue and claim that they are already enlightened. Just because you talk in a low voice, in a soft voice, it does not mean that all these claims of a maha yogi and all that thing is all absolute rubbish. There are people, you have come from Mysore, so you have no idea about Krishnamacharya, Yogam, BK, Iyengar, Pattabi Josh, nothing you know about it. So I request the people not to get carried over by all these fake claims. Just because they relax a muscle, it doesn't mean they are enlightened beings. All these people do not have the original thing in the tradition. Because they cannot talk about the original text of Advaita. Because they have never read. Can you read Sanskrit very well? No, you cannot. The problem with these people is they tend to imitate corporate people and they believe these corporate people are everything. Jaggi Vasudev, just like that you do not know about yoga, you also do not know about Indian spirituality. Can you name 10 tantric books which was written by the Shaivite principle? Can you tell me where the Rudram has come from? There is no idea. The point is, it was all a claim that you are enlightened, you are there, you are this, and all that particular thing. So stop fooling people. People also should not get fooled. All these people are legendary. They have contributed to the science of yoga. And they have really worked, including Baba Ramdev. Ramdev, I will not oppose him because he is able to do the asana. He shows the asana to people. He sleeps in the floor. He is not very money minded. He is not thinking how to make more money, how to buy an helicopter. The Patanjali Yoga Sutra talks about simplicity, aparigraha. It says, please do not take the wealth of the others. It is just sheer exploitation of the innocence of the people. Nothing else. Just like you have no idea, Jaggi Vasudev and Nityananda, about the environmental issue or about the great tradition of India, it is just all these gas is being left over. Do you teach from Garuda Samhita? Do you teach from Shiva Samhita? No, you have no idea that yoga is being talked about in all these books. So please, people, don't believe that. We are putting a clipping just to make you understand about these great people, not these liars and cheats and fools who try to make a lot of money using the innocence of people. Thank you. Namaste. Now this time, how is going to be for the Mithuna Rasi this year? This year is going to be very, very positive for the Mithuna Rasi. Many people who have lost their job, who have had a bad time as far as the work is concerned, will see a kind of slow, strong revival in this particular year. Especially Saturn is going to make a transit into the 9th house. So after the August month, things are going to improve far more better than what it is right now. Actually, the Mithuna people would have had a very tough time because Saturn and Guru was in the 8th house and the Rahu Ketu was in the 6th house. So it would have been a very, very difficult time for them as a person to come to some kind of a conclusion with regard to the career. Many people would have lost the job, many people would not have got promoted, some people would have got laid off, the business would have gone for a negative tailspin. All those problems could have been there with these particular people. Now it's like the cloud going away and the sun coming out into the particular life across. These kind of things will definitely bring in a lot of changes into their life. So this is going to be a positive year. As the year progresses, the Mithuna people will have much better time than what it is right now. Now many of them would have got some marriage proposal, we are waiting for the marriage proposal, things wouldn't have moved across, but after this particular transit of Saturn and Jupiter, things are going to improve a lot. In fact, many people will get married, will have what you call it as the fathers will have a very, very good time across. All those things will be there as a person that they don't need to worry. How is it going to be financially? Financially, there is going to be a lot of improvement in life. Things are going to improve a lot. Things are going to get better. There won't be much problem into their life across. They will be paying the debts. They'll be coming out of the debts and they will be getting better and better into their life across. And also some people who have health issue will be able to recover a lot from their health issues problem, and they would be able to positively come out of this issue across. across. So this is going to be a revival year for the Mithuna Rasi, and many people can have a lot of sigh of relief from the all-pressing problem what they have been having. Things in the last 2 years, along with the corona, wouldn't have gone very well for them. They would have got stumped, bumped and rumped into their life across, and they would have found it very, very difficult across. Now, what I am telling is only a general thing, but what I am not telling you is something very specific. Now, if you want your specific reading to be done, how is the Dasha Bhukti is going to be there, how is the Lagna is going to be there, how is the Tajika chart is going to be there, like this, I'll be coming in a video and speaking to you as a person by which you can definitely know about your year, which is very, very specific for you as a person. We have told it to you in general, we have not told it to you in a very specific manner. So please understand one thing very, very clearly, that you are going to get a personalized reading. Now remember, this is a Tajika system which is being used. Not many people are aware of the Tajika system, and many of them are not very clear how is the Varsha Pravesh has to be done. This Tajika system, which has been invented by the Muslim and integrated into the Hindu astrology, actually is a wonderful method where the horoscope is cast and the planetary positions are just read like the birth chart. We have charged you very economically, and you can pay us through any kind of methodology to pay for us, like GPay, Google Pay, Razor Pay, any kind of paying system you can use. We will accept it, and we will send you a video reading for you as a person. Therefore, how this year in specific is going to be, what is the expectation for you as a person, do send me for the consultation. I would be glad to help you across. Thank you. So, in Gochara, the 4 things are used. Your Janma Nakshatra is a very, very important indicator. Whenever your Janma Nakshatra is good, the entire month will be very good. So, you have to do the remedial measure on the Janma Nakshatra. The second part of the remedial measure, you need to do it on the Masa Sandhi and on the Paksha Sandhi. Now, whenever you do the ritual on the Masa Sandhi and the Paksha Sandhi, you would be able to overcome a lot of difficulty with regard to this particular thing across. Now, many people don't know that Masa Sandhi it can be done. Now many people do the Pitru Tarpana in the Masa Sandhi and in the Paksha Sandhi, Amavasa or Paurnima, but they have no idea, but this can be done across. The fourth most important thing is when the Guru or the Saturn or Rahu Ketu is about to make a transit, you can do the remedial measure at that particular point of time. The other point of time is you can do the remedial measure based on the yearly progression, which is called as the Tajika, which is a very, very important thing across, which can be used to overcome a lot of difficulty in a person's life. For example, in my Tajika horoscope, the 10th Lord is his Mars, is in the 12th house, so I can do the remedial measures for Mars, which will help me to overcome a lot of difficulty as far as my personal life is concerned. The other important area where you can do the remedial measure across is the Dasha Bhukti. You mark the Bhukti Lord as the Lagna and you do the remedial measure across. Now I know there was a person who had Buddha in Kumbha, and I asked him to do the remedial measure for Mars, which helped him to get along with his work very well. So you have to use the Bhukti as the Lagna and then start doing it. It produces fantastic results as far as the thing is concerned. So the point is, you have many ways of doing the remedial measure. It is not one way of doing the remedial measure. Now this is a very, very important angle which is not available for many people. You can also use the remedial measure using Panchapakshi across. Now this is a very, very complicated subject across, and and you should know the Panchapakshi rules which has to be employed across, and I am not going into the detail across. There are other remedial measures like that of Lal Kitab, which I do not use it so much, but we can use the law of opposite. For example, if Saturn is afflicted, you do the remedial measure for Sun. If Venus is afflicted, you do the remedial measure for Mars. So like that, you do the remedial measure for the opposite principles, which will kind of have an impact. Now, for example, Saturn was afflicted. Somebody was asked to bury the charcoal. Now, this is an important technique for overcoming Saturn difficulty across a person. So there are various ways to do the remedial measure. Of course, there are non-vegetarian ways of doing the remedial measure across. For example, giving the bali of goat, sheep. In Mars, they give the bali of the ram, and the buffalo is given the bali for Saturn, and Rahu Ketu, snakes are given the bali. Like that, there are different beings who are being given as a bali, but we don't do that kind of non-vegetarian sadhana as a person. So please don't indulge also, because there's a lot of bad karma on that. So there are many angles by which you can do the remedial measure, which will have a tremendous and a positive impact into your life across. So please understand, the remedial measure angle is very, very important. It is not only from the Lagna, and the other one is you have to do it for the strongest planet to have a maximum impact. Some people do it for the weakest planet. That is also an approach which you can do it. Generally, many people do it for Rahu Ketu, because it is one of the things which is very afflicted in many people's life across. I request you to apply the remedial measure and have different kinds of impact into your life. Thank you.